Yo, what's going on, everyone? My name is Kelcey Horne from Music Promotion PR, and today I have with me a fellow Marylander and Baltimore resident, Ojizz. Welcome to the show.
What's going on? How you doing, Kelsey?
I'm good. How are you?
I can't complain. Can't complain.
Love to hear it. So, everyone, we were kind of talking before this, and Ojizz was telling me what he kind of does because I checked out your Spotify and I saw you had music on there, but you're mainly a music producer, correct?
Right. That's correct. Yep. Well, for everybody, she just said it. I'm a music producer. But not only that, I'm also a newly found label owner. My label's called On the Track Music Group, and it's literally newly formed in October.
Wow.
So, thankful for that, getting the ball rolling with that,
Mhm.
and yeah, I'm just trying to hit 2021 with the ground running for real.
Right.
Y'all know that this year has been a crazy one, but for the most part, that shouldn't let anybody, that shouldn't let creators, get down on themselves. It's never a dull time to create,
Mhm.
and around this time, I think this is almost the perfect time to continue to create and to build on projects that you may have and things of that sort. So that's what I can tell anybody, especially through this pandemic, you know.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. Before we really kind of dive into that, though, what motivated you to start your own label? By the way, I love the name on the track. That's awesome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Um, well, the motivation came from just wanting to do more. I feel that music production it's a huge world in itself, but at the same
Mhm.
time, like the music industry is pretty much it's kind of small. It's kind of condensed because once you know somebody, that person knows somebody else that you may know, and so forth and so forth. So I was like, you know what? I think a better way to expand my music career is to make a label. I actually dabbled in it a while ago, probably like in I want to say 2010. I had a small indie label at that time, and at that time, just things just didn't. I don't think it was my time yet, to
Mm-hmm.
be honest. It just things just wasn't going right. Poor management, things of that sort, and it
Gotcha.
just didn't work out. But for the most part, like I just took time away from it. I continued to do music, of course, but I just stepped away from the business element of it and just focused on my music production, getting placements and things of that sort.
Yeah.
But actually, I have an artist and a dear friend of mine. His name is Tracy Lee, and not only him but a few other people persuaded me, like, dude, I think it's time. I think it's time for you to, start it back up. I was like,
Good
at
friends.
first I was very apprehensive at first because I was like, oh man, like do I want to deal with the headaches of it? But to
Mm-hmm.
be honest, that comes with any business that you want to pursue. You're gonna have, trials and tribulations, ups and downs with anything that you pursue.
Oh, for sure.
But with the label, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. Like I believe that it was time now, especially with everything going on with the pandemic. It's pretty much I had no choice because it
Mm-hmm.
was like, okay, I see people they're still not really getting a lot of stuff done, and it kind of made it a lane. It made a lane for not only me but the artists that I work with to go through. So I'm like,
Okay.
okay, I think this is the perfect time. So around October, got the paperwork in, get it started. So now I actually have one signed artist to my label since October. His name is Nizza, and the dude is amazing. And now I'm looking for other talented artists. And like I tell anybody, the label I have it is by no way, shape, or form a artist development label. Like
Yeah.
you either got it or you don't. And because we're here to, take our talents and take it to the next level, and
Okay.
don't really have that time to really groom individuals like, some labels do.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, and being an independent, it's like the timing is kind of short, so we got to really, get things moving to kind of compete with next level,
Oh,
individuals.
definitely.
So yeah, that's pretty much it, man. So yeah, on the track music group.
How are you meeting your artists? Like you said, Neza was the very first one. Have you guys been
Yeah,
friends for a long time?
I actually met Nizza this year.
Okay.
I met Nizza in February actually, and since then we were actually supposed to work on, I think probably like just a song or a single or something like that, and that literally just blossomed into, let's create a whole album. We created a whole album, and that pretty much was like that was the ticket to see, okay, this dude is amazing. I love his work ethic. And that's the main thing. Like I finally kind of like found somebody that matches my work ethic,
Hmm.
and that's kind of hard to find, nowadays, because it's it's so much going on to sway your attention from what you actually would want to do. And
Definitely.
to find somebody that actually has their head focused on, look, this is what I want to do, this is how I want to do it, let's do it. Okay, that was perfect. So meeting him, that pretty much, it was history basically. And
Meant to
since
be.
then, yeah, basically. And so from February to October 10th is when his album dropped. Um, it's a 20 track album,
Wow.
and it's called My Imaginary Reality.
All
And
right.
it is amazing. We're almost, I would say, since October 10th, we are almost at 100,000 streams on
That's
Spotify already for
awesome.
the album. Like that's great. And I was like, wow, okay. And for him to be the first signed artist on my label, that looks pretty good. I was like, wow, okay, now we can get a little bit of momentum. So yeah, it was definitely meant to be. I'm glad I met him. He's an amazing artist, and yeah, you'll definitely be hearing from me and Nizza very, very soon with a lot more material. I'll tell you that much.
That's fantastic.
Uh,
Are you guys working on anything new right now?
we have some things in the works. That's all I can
All
say right
right.
now. I can't really spoil it yet. We haven't even got to the new year yet. So, but just know we are working, and we have some some good features. That's all I got to say.
Mm-hmm.
That's
All right.
all I
Love
can
to hear
say.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
So, for anyone who doesn't know, we actually talked a bit before this, and you mentioned that you have sickle cell anemia. I said that
Right.
right.
Yeah.
How are you able to
hmm
balance everything?
it's not easy. Well, being born with sickle cell anemia, well, basically, what sickle cell anemia is it's a blood disease where our our red blood cells aren't shaped normally. They're not normally round like
Hmm.
a regular blood cell. They're pretty much shaped like a half moon. So what they do is
Interesting.
they don't flow through the body properly, so they'll get stuck on each other. And when they get stuck on each other, that's what causes pain. It can cause swelling, fatigue, strokes, and of course death.
Oh my gosh.
It's yeah, it's not it's very challenging to kind of like balance that and music and just having a life as well,
Hmm.
you know um so what I do is I just try to make sure that I stay up on, my medication. I'm taking my medications, and uh making sure I go to my doctor's visits and things of that sort, just to make sure that, my health is as good as it can possibly be, because it is
Definitely.
times where I do get sick, and I am in the hospital from time to time, and sometimes it's more times than I would like, but I don't let that get me down. So sometimes what I do is, when I'm in the hospital, I'll bring along my MPK Mini
Nice.
and my laptop, and I'm still working. I'm still able to work. Um, and it has been times where sometimes I can't even lift my head off of the pillow. And
Hmm.
those days I rest. I don't do anything. But for the most part, and this is to tell anybody, any hardships that you may have, there are ways that you can, get around it to do the things that you like to do. Just don't give up. And that's what I didn't do. I just try to keep pursuing whatever it is, whatever goal that I have in mind, and try to get it done to the best of my ability. And it's one saying that I always say. It's called the three W's. It's do what you can, when you can, while you can. And that's what I live by, to do what I can when I can while I'm still here, you
Definitely.
know,
Yeah.
because no, we're not promised tomorrow. So, I just try to do everything that I can, while I'm still here. Yeah.
All right. You're honestly an inspiration for that. Even bringing your computer and your piano to the hospital with you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I've had nurses come in like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm working. It was like, wow. And then they look at my keyboard and everything like that. Then they start getting interested. Like, what is that? And I'm like, okay. But for the most part, I'm just, glad that technology is at the state where we are
Hmm.
allowed to do things like this, that we can create music anywhere at the drop of a dime, so that's what I'm thankful for, that we can have this technology to do so. Yeah.
Definitely. How would you say that it has kind of affected your creative process when you're producing the beats?
Um, well, it affects it by I'll tell you one thing. It gives me a
Hmm.
lot of motivation. It depends on how I'm feeling at that point. So, for instance, I actually did an album with my friend that persuaded me to join to do the label again, Tracy Lee. Um, I did an album with him. It's called Glory. It's on all streaming platforms. It's an amazing album.
Nice.
And I was actually in the hospital when we released the album, and I was in the hospital when I had produced like a couple of songs on the project. And he actually, he said he could tell that I was that something was going on because he said within the music, he said it felt different. It felt like it was pain. It felt like it was, something that hit me pretty hard. And I was like, yeah, because I actually made that track while I was in the hospital. And so that's what I'm saying. So when I'm in a hospital or when I'm in pain or if I'm laid up in the bed and I'm still trying to produce music, that it gives me more of an incentive to like just put it all out there,
Hmm.
make everything transparent on that record because whatever I'm going through at that time, I want people to feel it the same way as I'm feeling that pain. I want you to feel it, so to speak, through the music. That's how that affects me. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's really apparent through the music if you listen to it as well. I checked out some of your songs.
Yeah. Definitely, definitely. Like I have an instrumental album called I Vibe Different and I Vibe Different Too. And it's a song on there called Drums of Sickness. And I actually did that while I was in the hospital. And you could tell like it sounds more so of a sounds like a war chant almost. It's very bass driven, very rhythmic.
Hmm.
Um, because I was going through a lot at the time. So like I said, that pretty much I put all that into whatever I'm making. Put that all into the music.
Yeah, I bet. It's awesome that you have such an outlet for it.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's a good thing that I do have music as an outlet because if I didn't, I don't know. Um, to be honest, I don't know how my illness would be affected because
Hmm.
having this illness, you need something to be able to, just where take your mind somewhere else. And music is my way. And I don't know if I didn't have music, I don't know where I'd be right now, to be honest. And I know a lot of people can probably say that's really into music, but that's a very true statement for me. I don't know
Hmm.
where I.
As someone in your position and a music producer slash label owner, what would you say to artists who are also struggling in similar respects?
Um, just I know it may sound cliche, but of course, never giving up. Like that's one of the main things with anything. Like anything that you want to do, you cannot give up. I know that people usually say, well, I got this and that going on. I can't really get this done right now. I gotta wait.
Yeah.
To be honest, if it's something that you really want to do, you're gonna make time for it. You're gonna find a way to do it. If it's meant to be, if it's really in your heart,
Hmm.
you're gonna get it done. So, like with anybody, I tell you, like any struggles that you go through, just know that that struggle or whatever it is, that's meant for you. and you only, because you are the only one that's strong enough to get through it. This burden may not be like I have sickle cell anemia, but there's tons of people out here that don't. This was meant for me because I was strong enough to get through it. Somebody else may not be strong enough to get through it,
Mhm.
but it's all about how you take these turmoils and these trials and turn them into triumphs. You can't feel sorry for yourself. You have to keep going. Whatever it is that you want to do, you can do it. And don't let nobody try to say you can't, because you can. You can. You'll find a way to do it.
I think with that mentality, your label is going to go very far. Artists are going to be drawn
Thank
to
you.
you like crazy.
Thank you. Thank you. I definitely appreciate that. I definitely need the motivation too. I appreciate it.
Of course. What do you look
Yeah.
for when you're recruiting artists?
Um, to be honest, let's just take all the music. Let's take the music to the side. I want to know how you are as a person. Like, I can't really do work with anybody if I don't, you know, have a mutual respect for that person or vibe with that person, because
Okay.
you can make the best music in the world but be a terrible person.
I bet.
Like that's it's but that's how it is. And plus, by being an indie label, you know it's gonna have to be more so of a family collective, a family movement, because by us not having that big machine, of the, music industry, a major label, or so forth, like, I don't have people to go out and recruit for me and all this other stuff yet.
Hmm.
So it's like, when I do get that to that point, it's gonna have to be like a family unit. I have to be around people that I can trust,
Yeah.
and that's very rare nowadays. Like, the music industry, we all know it's very saturated. People are just on just to make a quick dollar, and that's it. But what comes along with that is terrible, terrible attitudes and a terrible mindset to go along with it. Because if you're just in it for the money and to get in and get out, like, what happened to the feeling? What happened to what happened to the soul and to the music? Like, that's what the music business should be about. But that's another conversation for another day. you know. But yeah, but definitely, I gotta be around people I can trust. So, uh, and another thing, I said this before, is somebody, people always ask how can they uh uh get my attention, or online or Instagram or something like that. I tell them, like, don't send me a DM that simply says, "Hey, let's work." Okay, let's work on what? Like, if you didn't even take the time out to work on what you're about to respond to me, reply to me, then why am I taking my time out to even, you know, look or respond to that? Because you didn't even take the time out to even write, okay, who you are, what do you do, and plus your page is private.
Oh, that makes it
How
worse.
that makes it? Come on now. Okay, you want to be a public figure, but yet your page is private, and if your page isn't private, you don't even have anything to let me know that you're even in music.
Oh
What
no.
is pictures? What is a bunch of pictures of you wearing shoes gonna do? For what is that? Well, how does that tell me that you're good at what you do? Like, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, I need to know, I need to know your work ethic. I need to know if you taking this seriously as I'm taking this seriously. That's the main thing. Like, if you not even serious about your own brand, why should I?
Yeah.
That's plain and simple.
Yeah,
And it's
I
not
mean,
even to be hard. It's not even to be hard or harsh or anything like that. It's just common sense. Like,
mhm.
if you're not putting forth the effort, then why should I take my time out to, you know, assist you in what your so-called dream is? It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
You know,
You're not going 100%. Why are you doing it?
there you go. There you go. Say it all the time. Yep.
Is there a certain genre that you're attracted to?
Uh, many. It is so many. Okay. So basically, all right, when I was coming up, I just remember it very vividly. I would wake up every Saturday morning and my dad would be playing his old jazz records and CDs, and I just always remember just waking up and hearing jazz musicians, Herbie Hancock, Quincy Jones, Chick Corea, all these jazz musicians, and that pretty much kind of like sparked in my head, like, yeah, I like this. So I was always a jazz. I always was into jazz, and then that kind of grew, of course, into hip hop. Um, I got introduced to hip hop at an early age, at probably like what, I was 3 years old.
Hmm.
My cousin would come over the house and he would let me listen to his tapes, because tapes was real big at the time,
I remember
and
those.
so he would let me listen to his tapes and everything. I'm like, man, like I didn't know what they were saying. I was into the beat until I could really understand the lyrics. Later
Hmm.
on, when I got a chance to really listen, I'm like, wow, like I was just moved by it. And of course, just from jazz, hip hop, R&B. But I'm to be honest, I mean, love dubstep. I'm a
Really?
huge dubstep fan. Yes,
What is it
yes.
about dubstep?
I I think it is the mesh between, you have those hip hop elements, but you have that, of course, you have that electronic sound that's going through it. And when I first heard it, like I'm a Dead Mouse fan, so like when I listen to him, I'm like, what is this dude thinking? Like it's so out there that I'm like, yo, I have no choice but to be a fan of this because it's so crazy. Like I just love it and it moves you. It's just like I had no choice but to just do this. Every time I hear it, I'm just vibing. But I think that I think dubstep, like what I do is I actually have a couple records that I blended the two, hip hop and dubstep, and made some crazy records, man. Cause I just love
Okay.
that dubstep influence. It's amazing to me. I just love the energy. The energy is amazing. Yeah.
All right. Hey, I respect it. Dubstep, R&B, jazz, all of it.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, but those are, I would say, yeah. So jazz, hip hop, R&B, dubstep, man. And I would say, oh, I'm getting into more so of the um like the movie like cinematic
Oh,
scoring and all that. I'm big into that now, and because I'm looking to get placed in a few like movies for scoring and everything like that. So I think that's the next wave I want to kind of tackle is scoring. Yeah.
okay. So you're looking to bring artists on to your label who were produce that kind of music?
Um, I'm looking just it doesn't matter what you're good at as long as you're good at it. So you could be a pop artist, you could be a dubstep, producer or whatever it is, like as long as you're good at it. That's it. Simple as that. Yep.
Yeah, I hear that. And I do have one more question for you.
Hmm.
Um, please feel free to take a second for it.
Sure.
So, out of Apple Music, Spotify, any other streaming platform, what do you think that they're doing well to help smaller artists, or what could they do better?
First of all, these streaming platforms, it's pretty much for the all right, all the young up and coming artists or producers and stuff. These um these streaming platforms is pretty much highway robbery. It is, as far as payment is concerned and giving us as the artists what we're worth. it's just not happening, and that's one of the main complaints with these streaming sites is, from the artists, is that the the payment is just not there.
Hmm.
Like for instance, you're getting paid literally 0.2% of a penny. So
Yikes.
like what? So you mean I'm not even getting the full penny? I'm getting the wet my fingernail. I'm getting that much of a penny per stream.
Jeez.
That's now that's a very very hard pill to swallow, especially when, let's say, an artist is getting all this praise and everything from the song that they've done, but have nothing to show for it. And it's the same way just as going into a major label, and you're getting fronted this advance, but as soon as that advance is gone, it's gone. And
Yikes.
then you're wondering, like, where's the next payout? Well, no, actually you're going to be paying back because you're paying back the label for their expenses, the studio time, I mean everything. So it's like, it's the payment. Another thing, payment just isn't there.
Hmm.
And I think that when these streaming sites come to realize, like, they're wrong for what they're doing to, not only the artists, but just music in general for creators. I don't think they're ever going to admit that. I mean, come on, they're the powers that be. They're the higher ups. So it's like
Hmm.
they're never going to admit that they're wrong for,
That's for sure.
they're not. But if it ever happens, that will be a great day in history. But I don't believe that's going to happen. So I just think that is when these companies, start to pay what we're actually worth, or at least try to, you know, it'll be better. But I don't see it coming. So
Maybe one day. Gotta hold out the
maybe
hope
one
for it.
day. So this is what I tell anybody that, is going through it with these streaming companies, like, once you realize that you have a voice, you know, you have the right to go online, create your own website, bring your fans to your website. When your fans will do whatever you want them to, because they are your fans. They will buy your albums. They will buy your songs. Put them in a spot where it won't be anywhere else.
Hmm.
Make them come to you. Make them come to
Okay.
your platform. Don't and then maybe later on you can subject it to, Spotify and, title and things of that sort. But gain your core fans, bring them over to your platform first, and then you'll see who's really for you and who's not. Gain your core fans, and hey, and then you're literally, I guarantee you, because we've done this, the payout will be there, because not only are you interacting with your core fans, but your core fans are showing you love. And that's the main thing. That's all that we want as far as creators. We just want to be heard. And
Hmm.
when we are getting heard, you know, we want to get paid for our worth. That's it. That's it. And it's not always about the money, but when it comes to that, it would be nice to, receive what we're worth.
Yeah. I mean, you're
That's it.
committing your life to it.
Right. Right. And you got to think all the hours that you spend, buying equipment, and who knows, you getting music lessons or anything like that, all that stuff costs. That's money out of your pocket because you're
Hmm.
investing in yourself. So, of course, you would like to, reap the benefits of your reward. You want to get back what you put out.
Yeah.
But, like I said, these streaming sites, they're making it so that nobody is able to do that, except for like the Drakes and, Waynes and stuff like that, people that already are, big
Yeah.
in the game. That's why I respect the artist Rush so much, because he created his lane where he literally pretty much dropped a single every single week for a whole year. He created his own lane where he literally could walk into a label, and because he has the leverage,
Hmm.
because he has the fans, he he made over, I think he made over $100,000 off of his streams, and walked into a label, and they're the ones that's cutting him a deal because he has that leverage now.
That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. It's ways to do it. It's just, are you willing to put the work in?
Hmm.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's awesome. I think it's really artists need to hear that.
No doubt. Definitely. There's definitely lanes out here that we as creators can take. We just got to do some soul searching for ourselves to see which lane we want to take.
Hmm.
No, that's about it. It's a lot of things that we can do, and those were a few of them. So definitely, it's like nowadays you choose your outcome. You choose what you want to do with your life, and it's like, do I want to go this route? No, I don't have to. I can go another route. But whichever way, you got to make sure it meets to where your goal lies. Don't veer away from that main goal that you have.
Hmm.
Just try to stay as focused as you can. Figure out which lane you're going to take and stick to it.
So all
Yeah.
the artists out there, you know what you're talking about. I say listen to Ojizz.
Oh man, thank you, thank you. I'm trying. I'm, all, and the thing is, this is all learning as you go
Hmm.
along, because like, I've had my ups, I had my downs, I had more L's than W's. You know, those are what make you. Like, if I wouldn't have, or be where I'm at right now if I didn't fall, and pick myself back up to keep
Hmm.
going. That's what I encourage anybody to do. If you do come across, a fail, pick yourself back up, because believe me, that W is right around the corner. It's there.
Oh yeah, just gotta keep fighting. Dust yourself up. Keep going.
Definitely. Definitely.
Well,
Yeah.
Ojis, it's been amazing having you here. How can
Thank
people get
you.
a hold of you? Like, what are your social profiles? What's the best way to reach you?
Very easy. All my social platforms is I am Ojizz, Ojizz. And it's all across all platforms. My company website is on the track. That's ONTRAK, not C.
Okay.
TRAK, on the track musicgroup.com. And you can check out the company. You can check out my artist that's on there, and what we got coming up.
All right.
That's
Artists,
it.
if you reach out, say something more than, hey, can we work?
Yeah, yeah, please do.
Personalize.
No doubt, no doubt.
All right. Well, we'll have to have you back to talk more about the industry. I know you said you have more to say for another day, but I look
Yeah,
forward to it. Thank you so much for being here.
no problem. Thank you for having me.
Anytime.
Hey, peace.
All right.